Hello everyone, I'm Raul and welcome back to my channel. On my live streaming lessons you learn all my techniques and tips, and today we're working deeply into details and we learn how to draw a realistic cloth. We're working on a shiny cloth and you will see all the necessary steps to follow the reference photo and how to work in the right way. We're working this portrait with 8B grade, and as you can see we're working realistic, so I have again very good sharp pencils. If you remember, I always resharp the pencils so I can use very good sharp. For the first layer on this lesson we're working with 8B grade by Circle Emotions. Before to do this, I want to show you guys also my technique, how I'm using, so I can see closer the reference photo. So I have the piece of leather I set on my board and I set the tablet here so I can have the picture close to me. In this way I can see also the dimension where I need to work. I can move around whatever I like to do so I can have the details close to me. Now we're starting to work on this part. As you can see, this is already done. Stay with me guys, and remember, follow my live drawing lessons to improve your drawing techniques. We're starting from the dark to light and we're going into the outside area on an arm. As you know already, I'm working by proportions, and this is another proportion taken. I draw the outline. If they are darker, we need to do darker. You know what? Hey George, how are you, my friend? I'm glad to hear back. Let's carry on now to add the first layer. That one is one of another part of the sleeve, so this is on the shoulder, and as you can see I added myself the top shoulder details, and now we're going with small circle emotions to build the perfect layer. The first one, which I like to call the base. Remember, we're using 8B grade. That might be a dark tone layer pencil, so make sure you don't press with the pencil. We need to respect the highlights, so that's why we're going very light on our paper. I'm glad you're good, George. Today also guys, we're learning to work in grades. We do gradients as well, because we need to do a gradient from dark to light, as I did already on this part. Very light, we're using 8B grade. The same pencil to add the designed parts. This will be highlighted, so need to be light drawing. Now I'm going with the same position of the pencil for the rest part of the details, which is about the highlights. I'm not touching this area, just in case if I need to add a little bit blend with blending stump. As you can see, even on the top I have more tones from highlights to dark, so I have medium inside of this. It's like a light gray, dark gray and black as well. We do the same. From now we need to follow the reference photo for the shadows. If you have drawn already the details, the outlines for details, we can go by layering. Remember guys, if your pencil becomes smaller, you can use an extensor. As I have already, I'm using this extensor for pencil. So as you can see, the pencil is small now and it's very short, the tail is very short. If I keep this pencil, it's not really safety in my hand. If I'm using this extensor, become longer and very easy to use, also more safety. Now I'm using, for the dark tone, I'm coming with another layer. We're working on this part today and we're learning how to do this. From now, for the cloth texture, I'm going with small circular motions, guys. If you remember, the same way to draw the skin, but the skin you need to have very light pressure on the pencil. Here is not necessary to keep very light pressure because we're working on a dark tone, on a black texture. So this need to be very dark, as you can see in the corner. And we learn today how to change the value of the graphite on outside part. Actually, we follow the reference photo for all necessary shadows. This time I'm going very small part for the circles, as you can see, like small particles. Why? I need to go close with the texture in the photo. Even if I come in with a blending, you will see very nice design. As you can see, depends how dark tone is, I just repeat the layers so I can finish with this dark tone. Hopefully the camera is set close enough so you can see everything and all details. Today we will draw a few details. We're designing the cloth, and I will show you guys how to design to do the same as a reference photo. We do everything step by step. As I told you before, guys, try to learn my technique by pressure of the pencil and try to control the pencil when you're layering. If you see the pressure of the pencil is changing when I'm looking for dark tone. If you learn this technique, it will be more easy for you to work straight away with the shadows and also the details. Of course, we know already about the making darker. The way to do, we have already one technique done. So we're using dry hard brush to change the value of the graphite. As you can see, on this part the jumper is bent a little bit and I'm adding a little bit more shadow. My way to do, as you can see, guys, where I have to deal with shadows, I'm outlining that part and it's more easy for me to add the rest of the shadows. We will be here again for an hour to draw, guys, and we learn important tips and techniques. Look at that, how I change the pressure on the pencil on the same layer. Try to learn this thing to see how you can change the value on your graphite, on your paper. But remember, stay on the same technique till the end. Now I'm going by circle motions because this is closer way to draw the cloth texture. I'm coming with a few dots where it is lighter and blending stump to blend this. I'm using number 1 blending stump because I'm working with small dots. I'm come back now for the pencil. As you can see, already the design is okay, but I need to make darker a little bit. And you know the dark tone for me is made by dry hard brush. And after that I will see if I need to go darker or not. I want to thank you to everyone, guys, who share my work. I see you, a lot of people, you share my work on Facebook, Instagram. Thank you very much for that. And of course, tell to your friends if they like to draw, they're looking to learn more about my YouTube channel. Let's draw together. I'm coming now with dry hard brush. I need to make sure this is clean, so I clean on the paper. If I used to work this before, I need to make sure I remove all the pencil left in the brush. With very small circle emotions, I'm pushing from dark to light. As you can see, the paper is smoothing now, changing the value, which is very important. Become smooth, become close to the reference photo. As you can see, not always you can blend the dark tone with blending stump. For me, the best way is dry hard brush. I'm going faster and close to the reference photo always. Only using this dry brush technique. To adding the light gray texture on the designed part, I'm coming with blending stump number 1. Pushing from dark to light, a little bit graphite. I will finish the design using 8B grade by dotting. Congratulations to all of my friends, Leah Nelson, Art by Sue, George Portrait, and more others. You already upgraded your drawing skill by my tips and techniques. I'm very happy so I can help. And congratulations for your artwork. I see upgraded your work already. That means you're interested to learn more. Don't forget, my YouTube channel is always for learning. Upgrade the drawing skill. Now I need to make the texture more realistic. And my way to do this, I'm using Faber-Castell eraser pencil for perfection. As you can see, I resharp very nice, and I clean a little bit on the sandpaper so I can have very good clean eraser. Rub off on the top. It will help me to add the dots, make the same texture on the cloth with the reference photo. That's the last thing we need to do on this part, and we can move further with more details. If you remember, this is the technique where I do the pores on the skin. So why not we add these details on the cloth texture, making more interesting material and close to the realism. Of course, make sure you clean with the fingers or whatever you like on the paper the top side of eraser, because always you will have graphite on the top. Now I need to mask a little bit these dots, and I'm coming with blending stone. This time I'm using number 2 because it's just round circles over the dots so I can change the value by the shadows. As you can see, the dots into the shadows become darker, which is good. But as you can see, the dots don't disappear for good. So we still have some, which is perfect and close to the reference photo. I want to thank you for your time, guys, coming on my YouTube channel, supporting my art. Hopefully you're happy with the lessons that you get. I do my best to come in with very good explanation lessons. Soon also I will come in with more speed videos, time-lapse videos. Like animals and also heroes. We're moving further now, and as you can see, we finished the top side and we need to build the second one. We have just a little bit here, but we can do everything together because on the corner we have to deal only with dark tone. First we need to have the outline, which is very, very light. I think should be enough, and now I'm coming with the rest of the details. These parts are like a stars and different design on the jumper. As you can see, we have here a few small stars. So we design the cloth now. I'm going to outlining for design. I can do with dark tone on the outline, as you can see, because we have to deal with dark tone here, here and here. So why not to going straight away with this tone. A little bit light gray in the top to respect the reference photo, yeah? So now what's happened, how to make this small dot in light gray, I just blend with blending stone number 1. I'm pushing the graphite on the top. Of course I make sure I'm not covering this, because make part from details. Now it's not white, become light gray. From now we need to use 8B grade, blending stone, dry hard brush. This is another side band on the jumper, which is covering half of the design. It's no problem, we can have some details. I like very much to use the pencil by the pressure, As you can see, I can build straight away the layer that I need. With blending stump, I just mix the graphite, become a gradient, as you can see, into the corner of the top side sleeve. I have lighter, which is good. If you want to learn to draw realistic, guys, even the small details are important. So always make sure you follow the reference photo and draw everything you see. I have a few light gray details here. I try to make them with pencil, only for the beginning, to go close with the details. They are very light, random circles. And if I come in with blending stump, also very light, I don't want to mix this very hard, so need to be very light. Also, they are like a reflection. I can have them very clearly. What happens when you blend these small parts? You push more graphite on different areas. To clean this graphite, we can use Stumpo Mono Zero eraser to rewrite again. We erasing in this way. You make everything white as beginning. Depends how shiny is the material that you draw. Again, we have to draw from dark to light in gradient. Dark tone is in the top, as you can see, and slowly we move with light touching of the pencil. This helps us to do in gradient. As you can see, I'm working again by the pressure. A few dots to make the cloth more complex, and voila, we have designed the cloth. Now that's only the small part, and we can move slowly and quick on the next one. This will be a very good moment to work with mechanical pencil, but because this is tutorial for only 8B grade work, I resharp on a sandpaper, if you remember, so I can use as a needle. Very sharp. We are adding rest of the reflection, shadows, so we can go close to the reference photo now. Remember, you can do these details using 8B grade if you know how to sharpen the pencil. Try to use my technique on a sandpaper and you will see how nice you can work with. I'm coming to blend these shadows. But because it's small parts that I need to come back again with eraser. Why? So I can highlighting the necessary parts. Jumbo monozer eraser is the perfect one. Very light on the paper. I re-highlighting for the necessary highlights. You know how to sharp eraser, yeah? A little bit oblique. Just use cutter knife or blade. Now we have to deal with dark tone, which make our clothes more interesting. Let's do the first light layer on the outside. Of course, as you can see, the position of the pencil is changed because I'm start to layering. I start with small circle emotions. For the first layer, I have a base. Now, after the base, I'm looking for shadows, where I need to add shadows. As you can see from the designed part, very light, I'm going with small circle emotions. And I'm pushing and I'm growing the shadows. I'm using the same technique by circle emotions. Now the cloth become more interesting because we have more values on the top, which is the highlighted part. Remember, move the pencil by the pressure that you need, so you can build easy gradient. In this way, you can build a gradient very easy and nice. If you follow my graphite on the sleeve, close to the designed part is darker, which is the same reference photo. Now it's time to blend, to change the value of the graphite. I'm using number 2 blending stone. Even if I'm working into the dark tone, I'm pushing from dark tone to light. Building the texture of the material. Very important thing, if you don't have a background to draw, go very light With soft touching of blending stump, stay and insist on the outline. Don't move out. Leave the graphite get inside of the tooth of the paper. Now for the final step, I'm checking for the dots and for the rest part of the details. Depend how dark tone you have on your portrait, insist with the graphite if you work only with graphite, and layering more to see you can change any value you want. Don't be afraid to layering more. I'm coming with blending stone, this time number 1, to blend the dots. As I told you guys, always when I draw something I need to blend as well. Depend. Sometimes we blend by the brushes, sometimes I blend by the blending stump. If you remember, for the lighting details, we're using Faber-Castell eraser pencil, perfection, and we add the rest of the highlights. This eraser pencil always help us to achieve realistic skin, realistic cloth texture, if you know how to use it. That's why I'm here to show you my way. I'm moving further now, and as you can see we have to deal with the rest part only with the shadows. We're going by small circle motions. And we finish the sleeve for the shadows. As you can see during the process, during the drawing, I'm still watching my reference photo, so I just observe, and one dot, light dot, like this one, is on the other side. So I'm working by the pressure, achieving the dark tone, and slowly I observe that and I miss that. As you can see, we have 2 dots, same as the reference photo. I just need to add a little bit more details, so make the dot more expressive. That dot maybe is part of the drawing of the star, wherever, on the other side after the sleeve. Again, I'm using blending stone to add a little bit shadows and light details, which are light gray. So just light touching to add the rest of the details. Because I have already graphite on the blending stone, I can go by dotting and copy paste on the sleeve. Everything we see we need to draw step by step. In case if you need details with dark tone, so if you have more tones, you can dotting with pencil, but also very light, because need to be blend as well. With the same blending stone number 3. Look at that, how nice it's looking, guys, and is also looking shiny because I made the highlights in more gradients. So if I have highlights here, I'm coming with Tombow Monozer eraser to highlighting more. Even this part is very important to keep and save the highlights where they are. If you think it's not really good for the Tombow Monozer eraser, you have also electric eraser, guys. So I try to use electric eraser for light dotting to highlighting these curves parts here. I need to make sure I have clean eraser. So that's why I have blank paper on the project. This paper is to clean erasers and pencils and brushes as well. Go very light with eraser. You can use same like me, small circular motions and dotting. Because the third one needs to be darker, I'm coming with a shadow over the design. Now I'm going close to the reference photo after the blend. Now I'm happy and I can go further with a dark tone. I don't need electric eraser. I need only 8B grade. Following the reference photo for the tones, and I just repeat the layers. Of course, remember, we need to go same as we start by circular motions. I will outline a little bit more the designed part, so I can make the design more interesting, looking like something 3D on the sleeve. I need to highlighting here, and I need to cover this. As you can see, the design on the reference photo from the star or whatever it is on the top side. So we separate only a line. I'm coming with small circle emotions. That's why we have pencils and supplier, so we can build everything close to the reference photo. We need to build also like a shadow, and I'm coming with dry hard brush, and it will be again brush technique to smoothing from the shadow. Now I have very dark drawing here, very dark tone. I need to highlighting this part. How to highlighting this? Of course, electric eraser can help us. And make sure you're going very light on the paper so you can make the same design. Let's see if we can do this. If you go by dotting, of course you can do. I can highlighting more if I want, because I can hide the highlights with blending stump. Important is to be happy with the highlighted part. I recommend this electric eraser, guys, 10 winner from Amazon, and is rechargeable. As you can see, if I charge this, I can use for 60 hours. 16 hours is quite enough long time to draw. Anyway, we're not using electric eraser always, only where we need. Now I'm coming with pencil to design the detail. So I'm going over the highlights, make sure I do the same design. Yes, I did it, so that's the perfect design. I have the shadows, I have the design made, I have the dots who make the cloth texture more interesting, and I can go further with more details. Now I can carry on with the shadows, which is more easy progress to do. I'm layering with 8B grade. And also, guys, now you see why I pick this graphite 8B grade, because a lot of part from the portrait is by dark tone. Is the fastest way to draw the dark tone using 8B grade and dry hard brush. But remember, when you draw the portrait, where you are and which is the best way to be close to the reference photo. For example, if I draw the skin, I'm going with light pressure on the pencil and by circle and motion, so I can go close with the skin. If I draw the cloth, depends how the cloth is. It's looking like a fleece jumper, so this I'm going with small circle and motions, but as you can see, darker than the skin tone. I want to thank you to everyone who coming on my live drawing, guys. Hopefully you're happy with the lesson. Hopefully you understand everything that we draw. And if you draw this portrait with me, same as Art by Sue already did, upload the drawing on Passion for Art, my group, and I can help you if I need to adjust something. Thank you very much, guys, again. Hopefully you understand this lesson and now you know how to design clothes step by step. Everything to do is to come in with more shadows here. I will do by myself because this is just a few layers by small circles technique, and of course dry hard brush, which is the fastest way to add the dark tone. I appreciate always your time, guys. So now you see also the reference photo in the front of you. You see everything is close to the same drawing on the reference photo. I did this design today with you, and now I just need to add more dark tone on the bottom side. Bye bye and take care, guys. Have a nice night. Fost 45-48 de minute.
Dar nu-i, băi, bine, băi, nu, dar...
Eu am vrut